go play it at an actual event. So, Fairy Pod Mother. Good morning, chat fam. Good morning, Hoaglandia. Almost afternoon in some places, evening in others. We're gonna kick off with some Fairy Pod Mom in Modern. Moving forward, for folks that are my regulars that didn't see my schedule update, Crimson, thank you for the Prime support. Welcome. I am going to be starting late and ending late on Fridays moving forward, so it's about 10 a.m. Cornfield time. It's 10 to 10 right now is my targeted start time, which means Modern's going to go from about 10 a.m. till about 11:30 or noon on Fridays, and then Standard's going to be from noon till at least 5. Although, I think I'm going to run long today to make up for our short stream yesterday. Yeah, so I'll be up at 8 a.m. Monday to Thursday, as we have been for a while, but moving forward, Fridays is going to start about now. Let's get the quick brutal 03 so you don't put yourself through that. Alright, Temple Garden Pass. This hand's a little mediocre. It's got a Spellskite that potentially protect the Prime Speaker. Hands that don't have accelerants in them are kind of meh in this deck. And if we're playing against the silly Wilderness Reclamation deck, that one's been making the rounds. Well, we technically drew our combo, but this one's not castable, so... Hey, Cordemi, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yep. Looks like it is, in fact, the Sultai Reclamation deck. Bobby JPF, thank you for the 4 months and the Tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for your generosity. Be sure to drop me a message. Let me know which deck already in the queue you'd like to bump up for your Tier 2 this month. I appreciate that next level of support. Yep. Hey, Cardinal. Thanks for the 5 months. Hope things are going all right for you. The Fairy Pod Mother dropped off a stream, baby. Corn Chips, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Notably, my opponent does not have Cryptic mana available. Our hand's pretty bad against the control deck. We can't cast Kiki-Jiki because we don't have red lands in our deck, and Eldritch Evolution is pretty mediocre against counterspells because sacrificing the creature happens even if the spell doesn't resolve. That's a backup Pod Mom for when this first one inevitably eats it. Hey, what's going on, Best Beard? The family's doing well, Ozzy Pants. Yay, Magic! Yeah, looks like they're playing Sultai Reclamation, which is about as tedious in Modern as it is in Standard. I mean, I wasn't sick yesterday. I was just, I understand the frame of mind that I'm in when I'm playing Magic, and like when I'm just sitting there frustrated with nothing we could do, losing a bunch of matches, it's just not going to be good content. So I decided to take a break rather than like slog through people's decks while being upset. While being annoyed. Annoyed's probably a better word than upset. Strife, thanks for the Tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yep. Hopefully we just get dumpstered 3 times in a row with this deck today, and then it like dispels any notion that I have a desire to go play a tournament with it. That would be ideal. Please Magic, dumpster me 3 matches in a row to remind me that Modern is Modern. Yeah, Birthing Pod's banned in Modern for basically no reason, other than the ban list is inconsistent and silly. That's pretty negative. That's realistic. That's realistic. I mean, even here, like, I kind of just don't want to play this match. Just because, like, it's incredibly tedious. You could simulate going to a tournament by playing 2 leagues and sitting at your desk doing nothing for 30 minutes between every match. Oh, it's so painfully true. It's the part where they start taking turns with Nexus of Fate. Just a cryptic command. Got it. I'm just not going to play this match. I'm going to stick to my rule that if Magic's not fun, we're not going to play, and this does not. This just feels tedious and boring. I want to move to the next one. This is my... I put this deck in because I wanted to play it, so I'm not going to play matches that suck. Hey, EMW, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. When Birthing Pod was banned, it made up a huge part of the meta. I doubt it would in this current format, though. That's actually just not true, Milla. One, like, we don't have good complete Magic data, and, like, the incomplete Magic data that we had did not imply that Birthing Pod was overrepresented by any stretch of the imagination. That's why the Birthing Pod bans and the Splinter Twin bans are so controversial, is because when Splinter Twin and Birthing Pod were banned, they were not significant portions of the format. And if what we considered Birthing Pod, if what Birthing Pod and Splinter Twin were in the format are something we would consider a significant portion, then that means we need to ban Izzet Phoenix, and we need to ban Dredge, and we need to ban a couple other things in the current format, because they're performing at levels above what Pod and Splinter Twin were. Yeah, Twin, a lot of it... No, they really weren't, Milla. That's just like, that's what the anti-twin lobbyist machine wants you to believe. If you go back and look at the actual data, Splinter Twin and Birthing Pod were not putting up numbers that were more than, like, they're actually less than what Izzet Phoenix has been doing for the last couple of months. Hey, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Damn lobbyists root everything. But again, like, and again, it all comes back to, like, there is no such thing as objective, complete Magic data. Like, all Magic data has issues for various reasons, most of which are, a big part of which tends to be that they're incomplete in a lot of ways. No, I don't expect them to ever unban Splinter Twin or Birthing Pod. I think they're gone. I think people are terrified of change, and Wizards understands people are terrified of change, and they don't want to make big changes like that. Well, thanks for being here, Hayes. I appreciate the support. Thanks for keeping me around. Do you feel like the lack of bans is Wizards avoiding backlash over unnecessary bans, or is it more about the Mythic Championship? I have no idea, Rolk. Honestly, I think that part of it is, like, nothing's changed. I think any changes to the ban list upset people, and they probably would just, like, prefer not to upset people. Hey, Sheriff, thanks for the tip. Ooh, where's my dashboard? Drawing a lanes here is pretty good. Morning, Jeff. Looking forward to watching Dino shenanigans. Me too. Me too. We're just gonna play a bunch of mana dorks here. It's gonna suck if we get Wrath of Godded. This gets us set up to kill them in 2 turns, though, which is nice, but we could get Wrath of Godded next turn is the issue. Bacchanation, thank you for the half year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. SCTR, thank you for the 13th month. 13 months of this terrible content. Well, thank you. Thank you for keeping me around in spite of myself. They also didn't require the same kind of narrow reactive cards to compete with. Yep. One-Eyed Wonder, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hot take. Printing Containment Priest isn't going to change how Phoenix and Dredge work with the format. If Phoenix and Dredge lost to cards like Containment Priest, like the graveyard hate that exists now would already be keeping them in check. I genuinely don't believe there are cards that they can print to change the format. If they wanted Modern to be different, and I honestly don't think they do. Like they said they think Modern's healthy, right? It's like I don't think there are single cards you can print to really change Modern that much. You can see a Wrath of God here. So, I think, are they dead still? So I get to float mana and then Chord for Vanafear. And then can I kill them with, I kill them with Scryb Ranger, right? Scryb Ranger Vanafear is lethal. I believe they're dead. So I float mana here. I cast Chord for 4. Yeah, if I have two forests. Yeah, everything's fine. If you're not in the subscriber Discord, I post updates. I post updates in the sub Discord. So we just had a bad run yesterday. And I was ready to be done, so I decided to take a break. Alright, so we pod this into Renegade Rallier. And Renegade Rallier gets back Scryb Ranger. Scryb Ranger. Good morning, SCTR. Scryb Ranger untaps Prime Speaker. Prime Speaker turns Scryb Ranger into Village Bellringer. Village Bellringer untaps Prime Speaker. Prime Speaker turns Renegade Rallier into Restoration Angel. Restoration Angel blinks Village Bellringer. Untaps Vanafear. Pod Restoration Angel into Kiki-Jiki. Kiki-Jiki combos with Village Bellringer and kills my opponent. It's just a super bad mix of things. It was just like, we ran bad and then we played against a bunch of Nexus and I just couldn't handle both. It was just like, I'm off it. From that time they cast Wrath of God and then we untapped and killed them. That was good times. That was good times. Welcome to Modern. Enjoy your stay. May the Thunderdome empower you. At this point, if you don't want to invest in any Eternal formats, is there any reason to play MTGO instead of Arena? Yeah, you can technically make actual money playing MTGO. You can cash your tickets out for real dollar bills. Dollar bills, y'all. Dollar bills. Dollar bills, y'all. Alright, so Unified Will and Gaddock Teeg come in here. Obviously, Teaglesworth stops the old Wrath of God. We did beat Wrath of God last game, but that doesn't mean we're interested in having to do that every game. I feel like it's probably a Knight of Autumn out matchup. I wonder if I want Eldritch Evolution or not. Sheriff Wiggles doling out a sub gifty. Good morning to you. They might run Ghostly Prison. That's true. That's true. I have a Deputy, but that's probably a reason to leave one Knight of Autumn in my deck. What do I want to trim here? Spellskite stops Path to Exile, which is their point removal, so I think that's reasonable to keep. I think I want to keep cut Scavenging Ooze. That probably doesn't have much text. If you're really good, you can make $3 an hour grinding MTGO. That is, yep, that is a realistic number. Yeah, this deck does not cast Kiki. Kiki-Jiki is actually factually uncastable. I think I want to cut Glen. Do I want to cut Glen? Glen versus Unified Will. I think Unified Will is a bit better than Glen. Vizier is good for grinding. Yeah, you could technically cast it with Vizier, Vizier of the Menagerie, or Birds of Paradise, but for the most part, you just don't cast it. Get my tier 2 towards Electro Demigod. Yeah, we'll do Dougal. Thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I don't know exactly what we're doing. Let's do this. It might be that 3 Unified Will is too many. It could also be that my opponent has enough creatures in their deck that Unified Will is not a place I want to be here. I could see that being the case too. Like, they have enough creatures in their deck that I don't want Unified Will. Have I played this against Cage yet? Yeah, we have 5 ways to kill Cage in the 75 Chumos. We have 2 Knights of Autumn, a Qasali Pridemage, and a Acidic Slime, and a Detention Sphere. So, this deck, Cage is definitely a card that's on my mind when I built this deck. So you have 5 ways that you don't tutor for that you can just draw and cast to remove Cage from the battlefield. The sweet thing about Dork into Wall of Roots as an opener is that it lets us hold up Unified Will. Good morning, Crazy Duck. Yep. Yeah, I'm starting a little bit late on Thursdays or Fridays moving forward, but I'll be here. The Raven Inspector is not the 3-0 bracket. No, this is our second match. I just conceded the first one because I didn't want to play against Nexus of Fate. Yeah, Pridemage is our only card that kills Torpor Orb, but if it's Torpor Orb is the hate card, we have infinite ways to tutor for a way to find the one Qasali Pridemage. How is this deck going to be Containment Priest? If they print Containment Priest in Modern Horizons, I'm never playing this deck on stream again. I will shelve it and just go back to playing Standard. This deck, realistically, this deck is not beating Containment Priest, and that's okay. They want to print hate cards that make the deck I love unplayable. We'll accept that it's unplayable and move on with my life. The actual answer for people who want to try is you can try and path it, but the reality of the situation is you're probably not going to beat it a lot of the time. So, I have a decision to make here. I can either play Prime Speaker Vanafear and then potentially get it pathed, or I can wait a turn and then be able to play Prime Speaker whilst holding up Unified Will next turn. I think because I have the Unified Will, I just want to wait here. And I think I'm in a position where I'm kind of going to hang tight on the Restoration Angel here, too. This is the same 75 cards from my website, but I've swapped the Eternal Witness and the Deputy of Detention. So the Eternal Witness is in the main deck, or the Deputy of Detention is in my main deck, and the Witness is in my board. Yeah, I don't expect Containment Priest to have that big of an impact on things like Phoenix and Dredge, but it will take fringe playable decks like this and push them solidly out of the format, which, you know, that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. Hey, look at that. That's why we waited. Kid Nemo, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. I don't even need double white ever, right? No, I do need double blue on occasion, though. Will it make Gristlepig worse? Yeah, probably. How do I feel about Temur Moon? I think Temur decks are pretty unplayable. They just Blood Moon might be the worst it's ever been in the history of Modern. If my opponent doesn't have another Path to Exile here, they're dead. Yay, you died. Was it good for you, opponent? It was good for me. I got there. It was good for me. Joey Plebs, thanks so much for Prime support. For those of you who might be some of my standard regulars, in Modern, Prime Speaker Vanafear plus a 1-mana creature in this deck kills my opponent. That combo kills them. RX Kennedy coming in hot with the big biddies. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Thanks for the support. So, we prime Scryb Ranger into Renegade Rallier. And even, it's funny, with this Restoration Angel in my hand, I even beat Surgical Extraction here. So if they go to Surgical, my Scryb Ranger in response, I get to blink Renegade Rallier and get it back again in response. They don't have anything, they're just wasting my time. Now we untap Prime Speaker Vanafear by returning this to my hand. Get to pod Scryb Ranger into Village Bellringer. Village Bellringer untaps my stuff. Get to pod Renegade Rallier into Restoration Angel. Restoration Angel blinks the Village Bellringer. Untaps my stuff. Opponent concedes because they understand that they're dead. What do you mean Blood Moon's the worst it's ever been? As in Blood Moon's the strongest it's ever been? The worst, or Blood Moon's the unplayable worst? I mean the first thing. I mean the literal. Why didn't you path my thing? Oh, they must have drawn it off the clue. Must have drawn it off the clue. I mean, Modern is so incredibly linear at the moment that the few decks that Blood Moon on paper looks good against can often get on the board against Blood Moon. And then blue-red decks and teamer decks don't have the tools to be functional control decks to play a meaningful control game when the Blood Moon plan doesn't get you a free win. So basically, blue-red has never been a good control deck in Modern, but Modern has been in points during its history where Blood Moon gets you enough free wins that you prop up your otherwise awful control deck with enough game wins because your opponent just doesn't play Magic against Blood Moon some of the time. This hand's not amazing, but I think it's a keep. I'm going to bottom anything that's not a mana dork here. Moon is great out of the Phoenix sideboard, much like it was on the Twin sideboard. I agree. I think there's matches in Modern where Blood Moon is fine, but I think they're fewer and far between, and there aren't enough of them to make Blood Moon be your primary plan. Just don't think you can afford to make Blood Moon your primary plan in the current Modern format. So you need a good game one plan like Phoenix in order to be able to have Blood Moon be playable. Is it me, or is it assault move showing your hand to your opponent after you lose? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's a, I would have won if it wasn't for those meddling lands. Those stupid kids and their meddling lands keeping me from victory. Smells like Storm. Smells like Teen Spirit. Hey, Silly Cheese, cashing in the Twitch Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the Bezo Bucks. I appreciate it. So, Birds of Paradise makes Chord mana neutral with Chord, so might as well play this. We might just be dead next turn. Do I want to play Knight of Autumn out as a 4/3? Doesn't really matter. I think I'm just passing. Can only Chord for 1 here. Nah, I'm just going to play a 4/3. Getting another creature into play here is good, I think. So that way if they grape shot my board, I'm okay. Gaining 4 life isn't meaningful in this matchup. If my opponent's going to grape shot me from 19, they're also going to grape shot me from 23. Depth of Magic has always been neat to me, but since I started playing best of 3, the depth of sideboard blows me away. Thanks for all the primers and whatnot. Thanks, Sheriff. Yeah, I agree. Magic's like an onion, and adding sideboards adds a whole lot of layers to it. I assume we're dead here. For people not familiar with Modern, this is a brutal, fast format. And if my opponent has a Gifts Ungiven here, we're actually not deterministically dead on this Gifts Ungiven. So the shortcut for people that like mental shortcuts, you're deterministically dead against Storm if they have a Baral in play and they cast Gifts Ungiven with 3 mana floating. However, my opponent only currently has 2 mana, so on the off chance they don't have another Mana Morphose or Ritual in their hand, we're not deterministically dead here. So I'm going to bin both their Rituals here. And then there's definitely a combination of cards here that could kill us on the 4th turn of the game. Do you feel like they can implement a 20-card sideboard in Modern, or is that just too out of the way to sync between? I think having the rules be different between formats is bad. I also think that, like, giving you more silver bullets so your games are more about mulliganing to silver bullets rather than just, like, having more flexible answers and, like, banning. The other thing at the end of the day is, like, again, like, Modern is viewed by Wizards as healthy right now. So, again, I've said this a lot. I feel like when we play Modern, I repeat this like a broken record. If you don't like the current Modern format, you shouldn't hope it's going to change, because it's not going to change. You should just stop playing it. So that's why I found this deck, and I enjoy a lot of the decks that a lot of the matches that this deck generates, and I've just been rejecting other decks that don't seem like they will play matches of Magic that I'll enjoy as far as viewer submissions are concerned. So what else do I want to cut here? Want these Unified Wills, want the Teeg, the Eidolon. I think this is a Chord out matchup. Like I said, the fact that when they banned KCI, that they commented they feel the rest of Modern is healthy. Well, if they think the rest of Modern is healthy, that means we should be, and you don't like it, that means it's not going to change because they like where it's at. So don't just beat your head against the wall on something that you can't really impact the outcome of. I want to meet their nutritionist. Maybe I don't keep Deputy in this matchup. I can see Restoration Angel not being great as well. Having an out in case they go Goblins could be good for the Deputy. Need one more cut here. The second Kiki's probably a fine cut. So I don't think Path is very good in this matchup because, one, you see I'm already kind of struggling to fit all of my interactive cards in my deck. The other thing you have to remember is that, like, this deck that I'm playing is also a combo deck. So every piece I bring into my deck that's not helping me combo makes it harder for me to execute my game plan as well. Yeah, I agree, Bach. I'm excited for the new format that's going to hit in the fall. The other problem with Path is that, like, while it's easy to focus on, like, that last game where my opponent killed me because they had that creature, the Storm is actually capable of killing you without one of their dorks in play. So if they can kill you without one of their dorks in play just by having enough mana, well, then pathing their dork and changing their dork into more mana doesn't really feel like a good worthwhile exchange for us. This fall, when rotation happens, Wizards are going to be introducing a new non-rotating format. Alright, I think I just Eldritch Evolution the Spellskite into an Eidolon here. You know, so before they printed this most recent set, I was really hoping the new non-rotating format would start with this current standard too. But honestly, I'm not sure that like dealing with Hazoret and Scarab God is any worse than dealing with Nexus of Fate. So at this point, I'm kind of hoping they give us all the older sets, just so we have a big card pool to brew with. Go ahead and cast this Prime Speaker. We could have a Remander and unsub here. We could actually die on their next turn. If they end step bounce this Eidolon, they could untap and kill us. Yeah, that's true too, Why Pumpkins. One of the issues why Kaladesh was so rancid was because of a lack of good answers. And with cards like Mortify and others being introduced to the format, there's a flexibility on the answer scale. Oh, friendo, you already cast a spell for the turn. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Alright, that's my Birds of Paradise. I'm gonna go ahead and pod Coiling Oracle here into something. I don't know what, but it's gonna be something. Deputy of Detention actually seems pretty dope. So do I want to click them or do I want to play Deputy of Detention? I actually have them dead next turn, right? Oh, I boarded out my second Kiki. Yikes, I boarded out my second Kiki. Well, that means I actually have to do this. And actually, you know what? I messed up. So what I should have done was... so I left Vizier of the Menagerie in my deck, and last time, no, I boarded out Vizier too. I think I may be supposed to leave this other Kiki in my deck. It looks like they're just spinning their tires though, so we're probably gonna be okay. Because like, yeah, they're casting Manamorphose. We could still die next turn if they start with the bounce spell, but if they don't have a bounce spell next turn, they should be dead. None of those are a bounce spell. So I assume they're dead next turn. How are we killing them? With a combo. Prime Speaker, Vanafear, plus Birds of Paradise. Combo kills my opponent. Without casting a spell. So they're oh, the Village Bell Ringer's in my hand. Does that complicate things? I think the Bell Ringer means they're not actually dead, huh? Dang it, Magic. And I think we're still plenty good in terms of locking them out of the game. There's 2 Restos in my deck. So I'm gonna get Scryb Ranger. Scryb Ranger's gonna untap this. And I can't cast this because I've already played a spell for the turn. Maybe we get lucky and they concede. I can't cast either of these cards, chat. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just get back Spellskite here. So I could pod the Eidolon here, but I don't think I want to do that. I think that means I'm less likely to win. So like with Eidolon backed up by Spellskite, Resto, and Unified Will, I'm probably a soft lock to win this game. So I don't feel like there's a compelling reason to be aggressive here. There probably is a line of me just being as aggressive as possible to win this game this turn, but I feel like it's an unnecessary risk, basically. Just because, like, I've got Eidolon, I get to set up Spellskite, and I have this Unified Will, too. Pod click, hold priority. Yeah, that would probably work. Like I said, I'm pretty confident that there were lines to win last turn, but they just felt like unnecessary risks with how safe I am at this point. Dows, thanks for the 27 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They have to beat Spellskite and Unified Will here, so I guess they could theoretically have Wipe Away. Do I want the second Kiki in my deck, or that one kind of okay, right? Can I get away with not having the second Kiki in my deck? Yeah, trim a Coiling Oracle and put the second Kiki back in. Ben, would have felt a little safer if we could have clicked them or deputied their morale away last game. This hand's fine. Not amazing, but fine. The bird draw there lets me play a second bird plus hold up Unified Will, which accelerating is a good thing because it means that I'm going to be able to hopefully, means that I will hopefully be able to play Vanafear with the Unified Will up sometime soon. Repeal, sure. The Fred, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The fact that they just did that so aggressively, I should have played the Hallowed Fountain. So I didn't reassess after I drew Wall of Roots for the turn, and originally I was going to play this and play both Bird, but then once I drew this, I should have shocked this in. Wall was also a good draw there, though. So Wall's a good draw because it lets me do this. It lets me cast Prime Speaker this turn whilst holding up Unified Will. So they have to kill me or they're dead. Next turn I get to combo them while holding up Unified Will. You know you're not playing standard when your dex gets better as you put more cards you can't cast into it. Alright, they could have a remand here, because remember their remand only costs 1 currently, because of Burrell. Or an unsubstantiate or something like that. This is the first Twitch chat I've enjoyed being a part of. Well, glad to have you here, Wiggles. Glad you're enjoying it. Dismember, rude. Alright, opponent's got a lot of interaction. The fact that they had Flame Slash and Dismember explains why they burned the repeal so aggressively, because they had lots of ways to interact with my stuff. Alright, do you have another? Go. We could just be dead too. They could be done interacting and just kill us, cause modern. If that's all you got, we're done here. Oh, I do have both my restos in my hand, but I can cast them, right? So we pod this into Scryb Ranger. Scryb Ranger untaps this by returning this to my hand. We pod this into Renegade Rallier. Actually, I don't even have to do that because Resto's in my hand, right? I just get Village Bellringer. Do 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 do. We are racing. Alright, I don't even. What was the second match? Does anyone remember? What did we 2-0 here? I was like, I feel like this is our third match, but I genuinely don't remember what the second one was. Oh, Martyr proc. Right, Martyr. It was not particularly memorable. Remember, we killed Squadron Hawks. That's right, alright. We conceded to Reclamation, because I found that tedious to play against. And then now we've beaten Martyr proc and Storm. God bless. How's everyone doing? Happy Friday. But everyone's having a great start to your weekend. My schedule is shifted a little bit on Fridays moving forward. I'm starting later about 10 a.m., which means the modern segment's going later, so we'll be getting to standard about 11:30 or noon. Maybe even by 11 today. This league's going pretty quick. We'll see. Sometimes this deck plays long matches. It's hard to know exactly how long a league's going to take. It is. It's very miserable. It's as miserable as it is in standard, honestly. Just decided I didn't feel like it. Life was too short to play against Sultai Reclamation. Just like, nope, off it. Win, lose, or otherwise, you walk away feeling dissatisfied. My wallet's taken a beating since you started streaming Arena. I am the destroyer of wild cards in many circles. Front page Friday. Are we on the front page? We do occasionally randomly pop up on there. It feels like a shame to be up there while we're on Moto time though. Tron. I actually think this matchup's pretty reasonable for us, which I'm sure means we're about to get dumpstered. But I think on average this is okay for us. What time are we running till today? I plan to stream until at least 5 o'clock every Friday. So we're going to do Magic Online for 2 more matches here, and then we'll shift that over to some video games with Magic Arena. So as of right now, my opponent is dead in 2 turns. So next turn, I'm going to get to use this Eldritch Evolution to turn this Wall of Roots into Prime Speaker Vanafear. And then if Prime Speaker Vanafear gets to untap with this birds, we'll get to kill them. So they need to play... I don't even know what they could play, because they can't O-Stone or Uganas on their turn 3, and we're going to kill them on our turn 4. And we beat Karn because we have Spellskite. Hey, B. Williams, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Hope you're having a good one. And they're not going to have Tron on 3, so they're probably dead. Yeah, they need all his dust, and the fact that they don't have a different Tron piece this turn means they don't have big mana to make those plays. It's funny, I saw a lot of iterations of this archetype had what's it called? They had Magus of the Moon in them, and I was just like, y'all need to just learn that you're a combo deck. Like, I feel like a lot of people have been playing this deck thinking that, like, they're playing Kiki-Jiki, because Kiki-Jiki is an older deck that was, like, a mid-range deck first and a combo deck second, and this deck is very much a linear kill-you deck. The way this deck is configured, with Prime Speaker Vanafear not being Summoning 6, so being able to activate, and Birds of Paradise, we combo kill our opponent, so... They're dead on our untap. I don't think there's anything we could draw to have them not be dead either. I'm pretty sure, like, we have 2 Kiki, so if we draw one of those, if we draw Village Bellringer or Scryb Ranger, we can cast them. Yeah, they need like double Dismember or something really weird. Yeah, with the Spellskite, they should pretty much be locked out here. Even if they'd have had a good draw and like had Tron on 3, they probably would have died here. Because of the Spellskite. Relic's actually interesting. So Relic would have allowed them to disrupt my graveyard chain if they would have left this active. But because they're only going to get to exile 1 card from my bin, this actually doesn't disrupt us. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about Relic. Relic does technically disrupt what we have going on. Alright, so we pod Birds of Paradise into Scryb Ranger. Scryb Ranger picks up Breeding Pool, untaps Prime Speaker, then we replay Breeding Pool so we can do it again. There's 3 Restoration Angels in my deck. And even if I only had 2 Restoration Angels in my deck, I'd be able to cast one of them here. So that's still fine. Drawing Restoration Angel didn't hurt us, even if we didn't have another one in the deck. We do technically need 2 forests, but we actually don't even need 2 forests just because, like, we have Restoration Angel in hand and can cast it. Yeah, I floated mana with the Birds of Paradise before I untapped it. And actually, because I can cast the Resto here, I can just shortcut again. So I can play Village Bell Ringer, untap my Prime Speaker Vanafear. And then cast Resto. Resto blink something irrelevant, because this is already untapped. Prime Speaker the Resto into Kiki-Jiki. Kiki-Jiki combos with Village Bellringer, you know. You know. Renegade Shep, thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. Happy Friday, hope you're having a good start to your weekend. After torturing myself for weeks in Plat with Sultai mid-range, I took a play out of your book, whipped out the most powerful card into Arena, and flew into Diamond with your Grixis Dragons deck. That's awesome, Shep. Congrats. Thanks for the tip. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. I'm glad you are enjoying some Standard. Alright, so this matchup. Postboard, Extra Evolution is great. Acidic Slime is fine. Unified Will is wonderful. Scavenging Ooze doesn't really have a text box here. Deputy of Detention seems less than good. Vizier of the Menagerie is not what we're looking to do. Fragabo got timed out because they asked for a timeout. I don't think I like Teeg in this matchup. Like, Teeg's good against, like, exactly Ugin, and that's, like, I don't think that card's worth leaving in for. Having a random Knight of Autumn to destroy Oblivion Stone is probably fine. It's probably a matchup where I don't mind cutting a Restoration Angel, just because, like, I'm not on the fair deck beat them down plan most of the time. Craigifer, thank you for the entire year of support. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Have a sword to go with your shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna try my Coiling Oracle. I think that's my filler cut. I don't think I want to go below 2 Restos. The Clique's important because it's pseudo disruption and it also like sends Kiki back out of my hand in the event that I get unlucky and draw both of them. I think a Coiling Oracle is the last filler trim. Coiling Oracle is more of like a value card, and this is not a value matchup. This is a matchup about getting to my combo ASAP. Ad nauseum Philadelphia, checking in for the 14th month in a row. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome. This deck seems really hard to sideboard for. It's not too bad. I need to sit down and think about the ins and outs. It's possible that my sideboard's not super well constructed at the moment too. I had someone donate for me to write a sideboard guide for this, so that'll force me to sit down and work through it all. I'm gonna make sure that gets done this weekend. Sabanite, thank you for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. We're 2-1. I conceded the match to Sultai Reclamation because I didn't feel like playing against Nexus of Fate. And then we've beaten Storm and Martyr Proc. Burgle against Martyr Proc, they cast Wrath of God on 4, and I untapped and killed them. They cast Wrath of God on 4, and I untapped and killed them. And it was awesome. If you didn't catch the Martyr Proc matchup, you're gonna want to go back in. You're going to want to go back and watch it. It's excellent. Lou, thank you for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. We just killed Tron on 4. This deck's wonderful. I was working on actual sideboard guides for my pet decks, but I've heard mixed feelings on having them in the first place. Like, matchups are more interactive. You should put more face value and assume it than a blanket board in. Yeah, like, board guide should definitely be more guidelines than strict you have to do this. But, like, having some loose guidelines can often be good. Warping Whale. That's incredibly rude. I'm glad we drew a second land. What's a situation where you want to maintain priority? Cracking Lion's Eye Diamond in response to your own Infernal Tutor. HJ, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This is looking like a game where we're going to just be dead here. That's fine. We get to take game 3 on the play. Hopefully their payoff is just like Wormcoil Engine, because we really don't care about that card. We just like take hits and then combo them. Yeah, an example in Standard is Chain Whirler plus Status is a great example of wanting to hold priority. As a relevant example for our Standard players. If you're not familiar with Legacy. So, Tron has a lot of powerful payoff cards in it, but it also just has, like, a lot of these artifacts that just, like, draw cards. So their opponent's just kind of spinning their tires here. We're hoping to dodge Oblivion Stone at the moment. Looks like we are unfortunately not in ball dodging territory currently. This destroys all non-creature permanents. Card's pretty aptly named, honestly. I think I just put these into play and, like, hope my opponent's silly enough to, like, tap off this. Hey, Nami, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I've been playing this deck online and haven't been happy with the main deck Scavenging Ooze. I was wondering if a one-of Phantasmal Image is decent for when you already have some combo pieces. I don't understand what you mean. Why would a Scavenging Ooze, why would a Phantasmal Image be useful if you have combo pieces in play already? What situation is that relevant? I can't think of a single instance of where I care about Phantasmal Image being in this deck. I could see Scavenging Ooze being kind of matte and being sideboardable. I think Scavenging Ooze is flexible, so it's, like, okay to have in the main. But I think if you're not playing against much... Nah, there's enough Dredge and Phoenix in this format that you should have Scavenging Ooze in your deck. I don't believe you. Scavenging Ooze is good against green black rock. It's decent against control. It's good against all the graveyard decks. I think you should have Scavenging Ooze in your deck. Rats! They were conservative and just killed my stuff. So we're hoping to draw a fetch land here, so we can crack a fetch and then Renegade Rallier the Birds of Paradise back into play. And then maybe if my opponent doesn't have a lot else going on, we're fine. People are literally main decking Surgical Extraction in this format. It's a good format to have access to Scavenging Ooze. Especially because Scavenging Ooze has text and matchups that aren't just about the graveyard. Yeah, that's what Evan said is a great way to phrase it. Scooz isn't there to single-handedly beat the graveyard decks. It's there to buy you a little bit of time so we can set up our own combo. All of the disruptive creatures and, like, prison-style elements in this deck don't single-handedly beat these combo decks. What they do is they disrupt them to the point of giving you time to get set up yourself. We are likely very dead here. They're going to have to be incredibly unlucky to lose this game. This league's going pretty quick, though, so I'm going to give them a chance to get unlucky. Hey, look. 1-mana Demonic Tutor. Image can help use to jump the chains. It can be used with Pod. The Scryb Ranger only untaps creature. Sure, but we don't need that effect in this deck, Tofu. That effect isn't helpful in this deck that we're playing. go ahead and run it back here. I wonder if Acidic Slime's even good here. I think there's a chance that we just, like, don't care about killing their lands and we just want to race them. And I just, like, would like another Coiling Oracle in my deck to accelerate. Brutal. Hey, Burgle, remember when this was a Temple Garden? This hand would be so absurd if this was a Temple Garden. This hand's fine. Not amazing, but fine. There hasn't been much Ravager Worm in Modern. Okay, here's the thing you need to understand about Modern. If you're casting a card in Modern that costs more than 3 mana, it needs to literally win you the game on the spot almost all of the time. The selection of cards in Modern that cost more than 3 mana that don't almost automatically win you the game that are playable is very, very small. I'm curious, if Gaddock Teeg isn't for Tron, what's it for? Gaddock Teeg? Gaddock Teeg is there because you chord for Gaddock Teeg in response to Terminus's Miracle Trigger to stop them from casting Terminus. It's also good against random spell-based combo decks. The only card that Gaddock Teeg stops against Tron that we care about is Ugin, and they don't actually have that many Ugins. So I don't think it's worth boarding in here. Leave my Jace alone. He doesn't need to be attacked like that. Poor Jace. Oh gosh, we're about to get Walking Ballisted. I think we're about to get Walking Ballisted. Worth noting that Exarch would have been great here. Yeah, that's another thing to think about too. If we'd have had an Exarch, we would have not gotten Walking Ballisted here. If this had been Exarch instead of Village Bellringer. I think I'm supposed to put Village Bellringer into play. Putting Bellringer into play is good here in the event that I draw Eldritch Evolution. Because if I draw Evolution, I can then evolve this into a Prime Speaker next turn. And again, like, you hear me pointing out things like, what if this Hallowed Fountain had been a Temple Garden? The first hand's much better. What if this had been a Deceiver Exarch? I'm just trying to evaluate what are the different situations I could be in if I was playing slightly different cards that hedge slightly different situations. So my opponent's guaranteed to not have Tron for 2 more turns, which is nice. If I draw a land next turn, I think I'm actually going to... What is this, just O-Stone now? Or what do we have for 3 here? Sure. So they're not cracking O-Stone for 2 more turns, guaranteed. Which seems good for me. So next turn I'll play Prime Speaker. Played Absent Hero last night and went 4-0. The finals was against your Teamer Climb deck. That's awesome. So I think even though I drew this land, because they have O-Stone in play, I need to play Prime Speaker out this turn. Because if they just make their next 2 land drops, they'll be able to crack this and blow up my board. So I think I just hope they don't have a copy of Dismember or something to kill Prime Speaker here. And then hopefully we can kill them next turn. More pod, less Hallowed Fountain is Stoneforge Mystic. Is there a world where it's right to cast Glen first? Yeah, I think if they hadn't played the O-Stone this turn, I would have played the Glen first, drawing my 4th land here. But I think because they played the O-Stone first, I'm supposed to just play the Prime Speaker out. I think the fact that they played the O-Stone out means that it's required for me to play the Prime Speaker here, and just hope they don't have it so I can kill them. I'm gonna do this to prevent any shenanigans. In case they have like surgical extraction or something like that that could maybe trip me up here. Just put my negate on the table. Yeah, Cloud Post is banned in Modern. Artifact lands are banned in Modern. If I pod the fairy for Kiki and they have a removal spell, I get into trouble is the issue. So what am I playing around and what can I beat here? If I go get Renegade Rallier and pick Scryb Ranger back up, I get to untap the Prime Speaker and then I get to pod that into Resto. Yeah, I can do this whole pod chain while leaving up Glen Elendra. I think I'm supposed to leave up the Glen Elendra activations while I do this. This loses to double Surgical Extraction or double Graveyard Heat. Because they could surgically extract, I counter, they surgically extract again in response. Ven Faith, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. And now we're no longer using the graveyard. So now they should just be dead. We pod this into Resto, blink this. Pod Resto into Kiki, kill them. That puts us to 3-1. This deck's really good at racing people. Welcome to Thunderdome. Enjoy your stay. Do I let Spatial Contortion resolve to prove a point? Do I let Spatial Contortion resolve to prove a point? My other Kiki's in my deck, right? And my other Resto's in my deck. So this is why Village Bellringer's in our deck, because now Village Bellringer happened, and then we pod this, and we get Restoration Angel, and then Restoration Angel blinks Village Bellringer, and then we go get the second copy of Kiki-Jiki. So this is why we play Village Bellringer instead of Deceiver Exarch, so you can beat Lightning Bolt, or in this case, Spatial Contortion. Alright, second first, same as the first. A little bit louder and a whole lot worse. Just Glen Elendra sitting in play. Nah, brah, it's fine. I got a backup plan. So obviously we could have used Glen to counter there, but that's the reason why we play Village Bellringer instead of Deceiver Exarch, because it allows for that line. It allows for when they kill Kiki with a 3 damage spell, the Bellringer token untaps Vanafear, and then Vanafear pods that token into Resto into Kiki again. That's why we have 2 Kikis and we have a Village Bellringer. Yeah, beep, beep, beep. You're not wrong, Zombie Token. You're not wrong. Greater Steven, thanks for cashing in the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a great Friday. We are 3-1 with the loss being a match that I conceded because I felt the will to live being drained out of me, so I decided it wasn't worth my time to be played. Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's Friday. Don't judge me. Don't you judge me. This list might be the tightest of all the brews I see. I like this deck a lot. I might try and venture to Cleveland and play this deck. It's a good time. I like combo killing some nerds. Do I have a favorite drink? I only drink alcohol that could disguise itself as candy. That's my requirement for drinks. If the drink cannot disguise itself as a piece of candy, it's not for me. Different various cherry and fruit flavored drinks, generally speaking. Great, slow affinity start here. Our hand's actually, you know, I probably should have mulliganed this. I kind of just like looked at this hand and was like, yep, that's lands and spells, and kept it. That's probably a mistake. It doesn't burn the throat, it isn't worth drinking. What was it? Matt made a mixed drink one time that wasn't foul. Was it? It was during the 22-hour stream. It was I think it was Fireball and Rum Chata. That's the only time I've ever had hard alcohol and it wasn't like terrible. It tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Which you can tell that I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch because I have this giant box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch here next to my desk that I snack on. This stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by General Mills or Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but General Mills, if you're out there, it certainly could be. All right, what am I doing? Am I supposed to play Spellskite first? Spellskite's good against what's it called? Ravager, but Coiling Oracle could ramp me into these 4 drops, so I think I'd rather have that. This guy, Cornfields. Good morning, Bob. This deck's a total hoot, Bob. This deck's allowed me to love Modern again. I'm actually not blocking here because I want to resto this Coiling Oracle next turn. Any luck with Bant Stoneblade? Can't remember the last time I feel like we played a Bant Stoneblade deck at one point, but I can't put my fingers on it. My plan is to play this deck once per week until I hate Modern or until it becomes unplayable. As long as I love this deck, you can expect to see it once a week on this channel. Sure. Yeah, we've got a great lineup today. Solids all around for sure. And now that this Coiling Oracle's in my graveyard, for my next trick, I shall Renegade Rallier it back into play. We like the value. We like the value. Yeah, until they print Containment Priest. If they print Containment Priest, we'll just be done. Prime Speaker Vanafear. That's exciting. 1 little, 2 little birds of paradise. 4 little, 5 little, 6 birds of paradise. 7 little, 8 little, 9 birds of paradise. Our opponent's dead soon. Revelark is an interesting question. So I think Revelark is not good because of the popularity of Grafdigger's Cage right now. So the decks that you want Revelark against tend to have Grafdigger's Cage against you in my experience, which means I don't want Lark there. So you'll notice I'm choosing to take a damage rather than tap both my Birds of Paradise. And the reason for this is I want a Birds of Paradise left up as a potential blocker should my opponent peel Cranial Plating. And we have Spellskite to protect my Prime Speaker here, so my opponent is deterministically dead when I untap here. Faraside, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a great Friday and a fantastic start to your weekend. So, Burgle, I agree with you that Containment Priest wouldn't be good against the decks that are good in Modern. However, that wouldn't stop people from playing it, and Containment Priest will be genuinely good against this deck. Does that make sense? So, I agree with your assessment that Containment Priest generically is not good in Modern. I, however, disagree with your assessment that people wouldn't play it. And I think that it would be genuinely good against this deck that we are currently playing. Do-do. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Crime in stereo. Thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, people play Merfolk. If you want to understand how Modern works, we played Martyr Proc in this league, so just saying all the bets are off. All right. And you're a wonderful artifact take card, and you're a wonderful artifact take card. I would like Forge-Tenders and Path to Exiles. Scavenging Ooze is slow here. Glen is miserable. Vizier is unnecessary. I don't have Kataki in my 75 anymore, which actually makes me glad I'm playing this matchup, because I want to see how this matchup plays when I don't have Kataki. Is this a Chord out matchup? This might be a Chord out matchup, huh? I think Containment Priest is going to be worse than Graveyard Hate because the graveyard decks that you want Containment Priest against are already playing a bunch of Lightning Bolts. Forge-Tender is good against Galvanic Blast, but maybe that's too narrow. Maybe that's narrow. Whip Flare's kind of annoying, but I'm not, like, going to search it up. What do we think of this configuration? I kind of don't hate this configuration. This doesn't seem unreasonable. I kind of want some chords in my deck. But I don't have Kataki to chord 4, so it's like a little bit less appealing from that perspective. Give this a go. Yeah, Marty, we're gonna be my schedule is starting later on Fridays, so I'm starting about 10 a.m. So Modern's gonna go from 10 to 11:30, and then we'll be rolling on into Standard after that. Look at that. We got a 4-lander here. Let's just draw a fetch land or a basic forest on one, shall we? Botanical Sanctum. Let's do it. Let's do it and do it and do it and do it again. Do 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 do. Yeah, and part of the schedule shift is so people who my normal weekday schedule doesn't line up well for them, they can catch stuff on Fridays, hopefully. So, like, this will allow me to, like, run till 5 o'clock 2 days a week so people who watch in the later afternoon can get some live time without having to do 2 12-hour days a week or 2 10-hour days a week. Alright, so do I dubs Birds of Paradise this next turn, or do I just Night of Autumn and kill the cranial plating? Gosh, Wall of Roots is appealing. What format is GP Dallas, Nivik? Is GP Dallas standard or modern? When is that? I think I just play all the mana creatures here. End of June. Oh, that's after the new set though. We could have Containment Priest could be legal by then. Alright, this is the part where they whip flare me and then I cry silently. And by silently I mean very loudly. I'm new to MTG, and I'm interested in playing and learning what's going on in the modern format. How pricey is it to get into MTGO? MTGO is actually really cheap right now. The buy-in price has gone down pretty significantly in recent months. So I think I just play Spellskite and then turn this into Vanafear and pass. Oh, you know what? I should have left Birds of Paradise up rather than Horizon Canopy. So I could have a blocker. I assume they have Galvanic Blast. The question is how many? Oh, they don't have... They don't have... They don't have Metalcraft. Whoopsie. It's fine. It's like they just pointed Galvanic Blast that are down. I just assumed what my opponent assumed. Yeah, they could have activated Inkmoth. They could have activated Inkmoth. We 4-1 the last time we played this deck, and the last time we played it, it was also our one loss was also a quality of life concession, which is kind of funny. All right, so are we done here? Can we wrap things up? Oh, what can it mean to Squee, checking in for the 15th month in a row. Thanks for keeping me around here. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Arson, thank you for the 2 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Jeff, an Uncastable Goblins feels like home. Yes, my people that have followed my stuff for a while know that this really is home, isn't it? And so how about, this is a fun trick. So I get to... So I change the target of Galv Blast to the Spellskite, and then I'm going to resto the Spellskite, so I keep the Spellskite in play. Just in case there's more shenanigans. So we keep the Spellskite just in case there's gut shots or something silly hiding out. And because I have the resto, I can just go right to resto here. Boo doo 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 doo. Do 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 do. Boo doo 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 doo. We win lots of matches with this wonderful deck. How tedious is it to win if the opponent doesn't auto-concede? It's actually not that long. Kiki on Village Bellringer doesn't have to target, so it goes pretty quickly. And you don't have to click yes to untap, it just automatically untaps. Village Bellringer is a good mono combo card. This is the same 75 cards you can find on my website. We've been playing this deck a bunch. We've been 3-2ing and 4-1ing with it basically every time. The last 2 times I've 4-1'd with this deck, the one loss has been a match that I decided I didn't feel like playing the matchup, so I conceded it. It were probably bad matchups, so statistically you should probably count them as losses, but they definitely wouldn't be guaranteed losses because, you know, so if you wanna see me slog things out, I don't do that here. So I play the matches where we have a good time. My big takeaway from this is I am very, very happy with not having red sources in the mana base. I am extremely content being a Bant deck with 2 copies of Kiki-Jiki in it. I am pretty convinced after all these leagues that is correct. Prince Tay, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate it. Been gone for weeks, lots of Jeff to catch up on. What's your favorite deck of the last week? It's a good question. I'm gonna plug myself here for a moment and take a peek back here. So, what's my favorite deck from the last week? You know, it's probably between Black-White Aristocrats on the 18th and Blue-Red Treasures on the 20th. Both of these two were quite fantastic. One of these two, depending on what tickles your fancy. And if you haven't seen this page before, I tag my favorite league or 2 every day. So you can find those on my website. We're going to go ahead and move along to the standard/arena portion of the day.